You know, it's always fun when one superstar from one promotion jumps ship to the other and back and forth, and social media melts down as if it's the worst thing that could possibly ever happen. Now we get to see everybody melt down because Mariah May has now officially been removed from the AEW roster page, and it's pretty much all but confirmed that she will be headed to WWE. I got the latest on Mariah May right here on Off the Script. Triple H apparently is not a big fan of the Money in the Bank contract. I will go over why and why he hasn't canceled or axed the pay-per-view from their pay-per-view schedule. SmackDown is not moving back to 2 hours, and news on WrestleMania, where and when it will be taking place in 2026 after the initial New Orleans blow-up. All this and so much more for your Saturday, May 31st, 2025. I will start with SmackDown. I don't know, man. I hate this news. Who do I blame? Can I blame Triple H? I don't think I could blame Triple H on that one. Do I blame Nick Khan? I don't think I can blame Nick Khan on that one. I think we can blame USA Network for this one. SmackDown apparently will remain 3 hours on the USA Network for the foreseeable future. These networks have the companies that they have on their network by the balls. David Zaslav, Warner Brothers Discovery, USA Network, WWE. They have the companies, WWE and AEW, by the fucking balls. What they want goes. They're the one paying the money. And whatever they want to see, whoever they want to see on the shows, is exactly what is going to happen. WrestleVotes reports that SmackDown will continue to be a 3-hour broadcast on the USA Network for the foreseeable future, a change of plans from the report that went out earlier in the year that this was only an experiment and we would see the brand go back to 2 hours around Money in the Bank. This decision is reportedly driven by the USA Network's satisfaction with the show's performance in the extended format. According to WrestleVotes on Sportskeeda, they say this, and I quote, according to sources, the plans for SmackDown's show length on the USA Network changed back in January. WWE and USA Network agreed that the May 30th show would be the final 3-hour presentation, with the show reverting back to 2 hours on the June 6th edition. We were told the show will remain 3 hours for the foreseeable future, as USA Network was steadfast on keeping it at that length. Sources say USA Network has been happy with the overall performance of the show, numbers-wise, with the extra third hour. They may be the only one, to be quite honest with you. Now, while SmackDown will remain 3 hours for now, discussions about its length are ongoing. WrestleVotes added discussions on if the show will revert back to 2 hours at some point in the future. They are currently ongoing with the idea that it could happen when the overall TV networks and kind of sweeps week and all that stuff kind of comes into play. Season starts in late September, early October for all the networks when it comes to turnover. Listen, I could sit here and claim that SmackDown is worse at 3 hours than it is at 2. Even if we revert back to 2 hours, there's one thing that is not being done on the show, even at 3 hours, and I doubt it would change if we went to 2 hours. There's just no interesting story on Friday Night SmackDown. If they did, because you know it's possible because he's done it before. And he does it from time to time on Monday. Monday's not really 3 hours. It's more 2.5 hours. But that's like the sweetest of spots. 2.5 hours. It's not too little. It's not too much. 3 hours on cable television with commercial after commercial after commercial. It's such an arduous task to sit down and watch. There's no story. There's no real captivating characters that we are genuinely interested in because there is no story for those said characters. There's no real big selling point for the show. You have a part-time champion in John Cena who does not show up at all until it's a major PLE or major match or something along those lines. And the roster itself, they got a great roster, but again, there's nothing that's terribly exciting coming off the show. You do a lot of great pro wrestling, but then there's no story to follow it up. I sit here and I'm like, all right, this was a great exhibition between two ladies, two men, great tag team match. Where's the story? If there is story, it is like kindergarten level to follow, and it really doesn't involve you, the viewer, thinking about where it's going. There's nothing to sit there and physically sink your teeth into and dissect. Oh, it's going to go this way. It's going to go that way. Why did they do this? Why did they do that? You don't get to ask any questions. That's how poor the stories have been on Friday Night SmackDown. And this has been a common thread throughout the WWE system ever since the beginning of the year. I mean, coming out of the Elimination Chamber, which was probably the best wrestling show all year in both companies. I thought it was the best PLE so far all year, best pay-per-view all year. There's been nothing. Ever since Cena and The Rock was involved with Cena's heel turn, everything has just been very boring, very sterile is a good word to use. There's nothing exciting. There's no reason for you to go out of your way and watch. If you missed Friday Night SmackDown last night, you missed nothing. You missed nothing. Oh, man, there's Money in the Bank qualifying matches. Oh, that's great. That's great. You can find out what happened on the fucking dirt sheets and read the results. You don't need to watch the show. There's no overlapping story that is like fucking blowing you away on television where you have to watch to see where it goes next. That's what they're missing. That's what WWE is missing right now. So 3 hours, all the advertisement money that they're getting, it's tough to say no to. But we all know, and I wish somebody would fucking speak up about this, no wrestling show on basic television needs to be 3 hours. It doesn't. 3 hours is just way too long. By the time the second hour hits, I'm done. There's just genuinely nothing on the show. This is a poor move. I hate it. I wish it would change back when they said, but now we have another whole summer to go through with SmackDown at 3 hours. Whether or not there will be a draft, I don't know. Will a roster swap or new names being added to the mix on Friday night help? Maybe just a smidgen, but is it going to be a long-term deal? Long-term fix? No, it is not. Triple H, he's reportedly not a big fan of the WWE Money in the Bank contract. This is also coming from WrestleVotes. Triple H is reportedly not a major fan of the Money in the Bank briefcase concept in itself. According to WrestleVotes Radio, this news came out during a discussion about the unusually late August scheduling for the 2026 Money in the Bank in New Orleans as WWE shifts WrestleMania out of the city to Las Vegas, potentially, is the rumor. The winner of the matches have to carry around the briefcase until they cash it in. Speaking on WrestleVotes Radio, TC of WrestleVotes said, I've been told Triple H is not a big fan of the Money in the Bank prop as a whole. Oh, well, JD from NY 206, why doesn't he, if he's not a big fan of the briefcase, JD from NY 206, why doesn't he just take the pay-per-view off the calendar, JD? Because there's a lot more that goes into it, you fucking geek. Thank you for asking. First of all, why doesn't he like the Money in the Bank briefcase? Babyface champions usually get hurt by it because they look like fucking idiots when the heel runs in and cashes it in. There's an over-reliance on a shocking moment that usually is there, it happens, and then it's over. It's like a shot of fucking heroin, and you get that immediate high, and then you get the fucking crash, and then it's all over, and then you do it all over again, and you're waiting for the next moment. You're waiting for the next shot. You're waiting for the next shock moment. Inconsistency. Honestly. Not every year you're going to have somebody that you want to see win Money in the Bank and then the cash-in falls flat. I don't know who's going to win it this year. I don't know who it's going to be tailor-made for this year. But the follow-through, how many times can we see a Money in the Bank cash-in? Oh, well, this one won Money in the Bank. He's going to cash it in. And it's very predictable that most of the time you cash it in, you win the contract, and then you win the title. There's very little that happens where it doesn't result in a cash-in. It's very predictable. It also shortcuts storyline development because, honestly, when Triple H comes up with something and he's got a plan for long-term booking, then you got this fucking contract in, and then you got to factor this in, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. I see a lot of people claiming the last 2 years, oh, well, JD, Triple H is not a good booker, JD, from what I told us. The two Money in the Bank contracts he had, they were terrible, JD. First of all, the Austin Theory one was remnants of the Vince McMahon era, and it was so fucking stupid that they had no plans for Austin Theory. Vince didn't have any plans for Austin Theory, and neither did Triple H. So he inherited the Money in the Bank contract for Austin Theory, and he didn't fit into plans to be a champion or a world champion for Triple H during the time that he took over. So he inherited this garbage, this terrible creative, and he did whatever he could, and he bit the bullet. He had to bite the bullet. He had him cash in on the United States Championship, and boom, it was over. You got to get rid of it. We got to get rid of it. He's not going to factor into anything, which I said is shortcut storyline development. That's what happens. And he took that upon himself, and he had to, he basically had to eat whatever Vince McMahon served him because he had no choice. The Drew McIntyre one, I didn't mind. Do you want to know why? Because A, it just goes to show you that Triple H doesn't give a fuck about it, and he would rather use it to be a vehicle for a story, which only enhanced last year when Drew McIntyre won it. He immediately cashed it in, and it served its purpose at getting Drew McIntyre and CM Punk to the next level. Because that's what it should be used for. It should be used as a vehicle to tell a greater story, and last year it did. I didn't mind it, and usually he has too. Drew McIntyre won it, he failed it, and Punk and McIntyre's feud was accelerated even further because of it. But he still had Tiffany's shock contract cash-in under his belt. We had to wait several months for that to happen, and he dragged it out a little bit too long, but when it happened, it was great, and now she's still champion, and she's better off for it. But I agree, it's shortcut story. That's a reason why he doesn't like it. It hurts babyface champions. I understand that. Over-reliance on the shock moment. It's just something fans expect. Even though the moment is predictable, you just kind of assume that whoever wins it's going to be the champion, and then inconsistent rate, success rate, and follow-through. Now, why he doesn't scrap the concept or PLE? A, fans are looking at Money in the Bank as a synonymous symbol and PLE for WWE. It's been around for so long, the legacy and tradition behind it. If it goes away, I'm sure there will be a vocal majority that does not want that to happen. The scheduling conflicts, PLEs are made months, years in advance. Buildings are booked and secured months and years in advance. So, like I said here in this report, the Money in the Bank PLE is already scheduled for New Orleans in 2026. They got the Smoothie King Center for that. It's booked, ready to go. It's WWE's by the time August next year rolls around. Now, after that, I don't know. But normally these shows are booked a year or two out, and WWE has plans for the buildings and site fees and whatever else is going into that. It's definitely a logistics and scheduling and financial decision. You just can't say, well, all right, he doesn't like it. He hates the concept. Let's just scrap it and not do it this year. No, you're already committed to a building, and you've already committed to the show itself. So you just can't have that happen. He could reshape it. He could do something else where he changes the rules of it. Maybe not 12 months, but maybe 6 months. I don't know. Maybe he could change the winner of the briefcase, winning it, and it's a shot at a championship at a set show, and you put a time restraint on it. I don't know how he would reshape it to keep its overall legacy and tradition intact. But honestly, the way I would do it, I would kill the pay-per-view completely. I've been saying this for years. Kill the pay-per-view completely. In its spot, put King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, have those play out on PLE, and move the Money in the Bank match itself, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, and have it take place at WrestleMania. That's what I would do. And also, going back to why he hasn't scrapped it, he's not going to scrap it for the reasons I gave, but he's also not going to scrap it unless there's something else that is rich with tradition that could take its place, like a King of the Ring. So I would like to see it go away. And if not go away completely, just move it to WrestleMania, both for the men and the women, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. But we'll see how this takes shape. But you kind of got the sense that Triple H doesn't really care for it, but he's already committed for at least the next 2 years. So we'll see how that plays out on WWE television. WrestleMania 42 is not happening in New Orleans. and officially doesn't have a home, though it is expected to be Las Vegas once again, according to reports. Those that Fightful has spoken to in the company are quiet on the deal, with nobody officially confirming the news. But we did speak to sources that provided insight on other locations. Among them was the rumored possibility of London, which we've heard or been told is a matter of site fees. It was noted that AEW, get this, AEW pays the city and the venues for All In and Forbidden Door. So Tony Khan is paying the city to take these shows and put them in these cities. So he's paying for the O2 Arena so that he could house Forbidden Door. He's paying Wembley to bring AEW in for All In. Man, that's a valuable fucking brand if Tony Khan is the one paying to use Wembley. That goes to show you that the city and these venues find zero value in AEW. Well, WWE is seeking out a hefty site fee to bring the show to London. Saudi Arabia has long wanted a WrestleMania, but we've not heard of that being in the cards in the coming years. A longtime WWE employee believed that if WWE does want a WrestleMania in Saudi, it will be later in a year, and it will be titled something like Super WrestleMania, along the lines of the greatest Royal Rumble. God, do I fucking hate that. You want a way to kill all credibility for your show? There you go. Hey guys, it's not WrestleMania 47 or whatever it is this year. It's Super WrestleMania, like the Super Mario Brothers. It's me, WrestleMania. It's me, Luigi and Mario. No, you fucking kidding me? God, that sounds so fucking ridiculous. Though the original statement that WrestleNomics obtained was later revealed as a joint statement, WWE's involvement in the statement wasn't mentioned at the time to the outlet. Regarding the rumors that WWE could take WrestleMania to Vegas more often, many in the company believe that is a negotiation tactic to encourage cities to bid more. Oh yeah, we'll just go home to Las Vegas where they'll pay us a $5-6 million site fee plus give us a near $5 million tax break. If you guys want WrestleMania, you got to at least double what we're making from the site fee and the tax break in Las Vegas. More like 10 to 15 million to bring WrestleMania to your town this year. It's me, Super WrestleMania. God, this shit sucks. This is fucking awful, man. Whatever London is looking at for a site fee, pay it. I would love not only to see the ambiance and the environment, and for those people who deserve it for the first time ever at Wembley, the energy there would be fucking unbelievable. And it may get me to go back out there, because I'm certainly not going back out there for AEW, man. Forget that. That ship has sailed. But Las Vegas seems to be on the horizon for WrestleMania, and soon enough, a Super WrestleMania. It's me. Great. Can't wait. Mariah May. Speaking of can't wait, Mariah May is off the AEW roster page and is expected to head to WWE imminently upon that expiration of her contract. Fightful Select can confirm PW Insider's report of such plans. May's 2-year contract with AEW is expected to expire, and she will effectively be done with the company. There have been no substantial creative plans for her in AEW since the Hollywood ending with Toni Storm at Revolution, and we're told that most in the company expected her to move on to WWE. The report that I see going around is that she, between that, the Hollywood ending and whatever happened before that with Mariah and Tony, I do believe the reports on social media stated that Mariah had already given notice to Tony Khan that she was not re-signing and didn't have any hopes of staying with the company. She was moving on, and this was her contract year, and no interest in coming back. So take that as you will. As of 1:30 p.m. Eastern on May 30th, which was yesterday, Mariah May's management claimed that despite her being off the roster page, her deal has not officially expired at the moment. Well, good thing she didn't get hurt. And good thing she didn't miss any time in those 2 years, because you know Guantanamo Bay is looking for more inmates. They love tacking time on top of people's contracts so that they can keep them in Guantanamo Bay even longer than they want. Mariah May has also made other moves, including getting representation for additional venues, probably a TV role, movie roles. I know a lot of WWE talent are signing with Paradigm movie agency. AEW has been aware that she would be leaving the company, and sources near the top of WWE say that the wheels have been in motion for her to join the company for a while. The most surprising element within AEW is that Mariah May had a 2-year deal with no additional option year for a return. Well, that's Tony's fault. That's Tony Khan's fault, man. Good old TK. WWE sources that we spoke to said that they immediately had interest in her when they learned she was available, but that nothing was possible with the incoming talents because of existing contracts, and they had to wait till they're free and clear to actually sign on the dotted line. To be clear, Mariah May's management claims that her AEW deal is not officially up, and WWE sources claim no contract has been signed as of yet. Fightful did ask about Mariah May in March when Andrew Baydala put a story out. At the time, Mariah and her representation simply gave Fightful a no comment on the original story. You know, I can't wait. I can't wait for all the fucking WWE tribalists. You know who you are. Can't wait for all the WWE tribalists who labeled poor old Mariah May. Oh, she's a Timu Tiffany Stratton. JD from NY 206. She's a Timu Tiffany, JD. That's great. It's fantastic, man. Go shut the fuck up. I can't wait for all of the AEW sickos, you know, the ones that have the IQ of a fucking pencil eraser. I can't wait for Mariah at this point to be a traitor. And I can't wait until she's labeled overrated or labeled, yeah, she was never that good anyway, JD. She was never that good anyway. Or I can't wait for the reports to come out that say she was difficult to work with and that she wasn't welcomed in the locker room and that she was a hindrance on productivity and she brought morale down. I can't wait for those fucking reports. I can't wait, man. I can't wait for all the fucking geeks, you fucking nerds, the ones who say, just enjoy all pro wrestling, JD. I can't wait for those geeks to label Mariah like, she's overrated. I can't wait, man. I can't wait for her to be the worst pro wrestler in the entire world. The moral of the story is, folks, social media is garbage. And everybody that resides on social media, unlike me, is a fucking idiot. Basically, what that boils down to. Listen, I know you're going to get, all joking aside, I know you're going to get the comments of, well, Tony Khan fumbled Mariah. This more has to do with Mariah and less with Tony Khan. Tony Khan, he pushes who he wants at a time when he has a favorite, and then when they fall out of favoritism, he goes on to something else. That's what he does. Look at it this way. Mariah May came in. She was a relative unknown from Stardom. She came in and she won everybody over in 2 years. The body of work that Mariah did in 2 years, whether you liked it or not, even when she won the championship, after the championship, it was just downhill. But on the road to winning the championship, her winning the Owen, her turning on Tony, her match at All In, and then moving on with the story until Tony got back and we did the Hollywood ending. Everything about Mariah and Tony's interactions, everything about Mariah and Tony's story was the best women's story that AEW has produced in 6 years. She got herself over. Obviously, Tony Storm helped her because the story doesn't happen unless you have a captivating story and a character like Tony Storm. But Mariah was given this script, was given this direction, and every single time she went out there, she killed it. And she's not a bad pro wrestler. She's actually very good at what she does. She's beautiful, gorgeous. She's a great pro wrestler, and she showed that she's got the chops for acting, and she's a believable character. And I thought her heel work was sinister, and that's a great way to put it, sinister. She's going to fit like a glove in WWE. In 2 years, she did all this, and she's already put herself in a position to be paid handsomely. And WWE is desiring her more than a lot of people right now who are set to hit free agency. You don't mean to tell me that Mariah worked her ass off to get what she's getting? Mariah put herself in a position to get everything that's coming. Mariah wanted to go to WWE. The reason why Mariah wants to go to WWE is because she sees the writing on the wall. There's nothing for her to do. There's nothing else for her to do in AEW. Why would you risk your career for another 2 or 3 years to stay with AEW when there's nothing there for you? Mercedes has the TBS title. That ain't going anywhere. Toni Storm has the women's championship. That ain't going anywhere. Soon to be on Mercedes. That ain't going anywhere. Tag team championships? Why would you create tag team championships in AEW? The only reason why that discussion is happening right now is because they've sacrificed the entire fucking division for Mercedes, and they're looking to make everybody else feel important by developing and creating titles that basically will be irrelevant. Just to say, hey, look, everybody else is important. They got a shiny new title. No. Now, Mariah is worth so much more than that. Look at what they're doing with Megan Bayne. They're feuding Megan Bayne with fucking Harley Cameron and Anna Jay. Great. Love them. Two jobbers. Let's be realistic. Megan Bayne comes in with all this fanfare on the buy-in. You don't think Mariah May sees it and sees the writing on the wall? What would you like her to do? Stay with AEW because you're a sicko? Stay with AEW for what? To be on the buy-in with fucking Harley Cameron and Thunder Rosa? Who wants that? She wants to keep her career on the upwards. So she's going to go to WWE. Have you realized that they're moving a lot of people up to from NXT to the main roster? Stephanie Vacquer's getting called up. Jordan Grace is getting called up. Before she gets there, I'm assuming somebody else is going to get called up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sol Ruka on the main roster. And Lola Vice on the main roster. WWE is going to Kalani Jordan on the main roster. I wouldn't be surprised if WWE moves a whole pocket of women that have been down there for quite some time up to the main roster to make room for someone like Mariah. JC Jane just beat Stephanie Vacquer for the NXT Women's Championship. No matter how you look at it, it's an awful decision. I think JC fucking sucks. But Stephanie's on her way to the main roster. So is Jordan Grace. Stephanie's going to Raw. Jordan Grace is going to SmackDown. Don't you think that they have within their mind, we'll put it on JC Jane, and when Mariah May comes in, she's going to win that championship legitimately within the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Maybe on the first night she comes in. Who the fuck knows? She's already destined for that NXT Women's Championship. She wants more. Tony was not going to give her more. He might have given her more money. Creatively, there was nothing there to keep her around. And that's where it falls for Tony Khan, and that's where he should be blamed. He is so one-track mind that he has absolutely zero creativity, and the people there have zero creativity to even tell this woman and come to this woman, hey, we'll pay you. We'll pay you whatever you want, but we got this for you over the next 12 months, 18 months. This is what we want you to do. Do you think that this company is wise enough? This company is smart enough? This company is creative enough to come to Mariah with not only a money offer, which is endless, but a creativity offer? This is what we want you to do. They did that with Danny Garcia. How'd that work out for him? They paid him. They paid him whatever he wanted. I'm sure he lowballed or negotiated with WWE. I'm sure WWE gave him an offer. I'm sure Tony Khan gave him an offer, and he was more blown away with AEW's offer than he was WWE's offer. But what did they do? Their creativity went as far as, hey, we'll sign you. We'll give you the TNT title, and that's it. Now where is he? Now what is he going to do? He'll probably sit on the bench for the remainder of his contract because you could see that they lost favor in Danny Garcia. And the flavor of the month that he was no more. They are so fucking stupid that they couldn't even come up with something to even keep Mariah there creatively. It is more than money. It's going to be more than money to keep you happy. People want to be creatively fulfilled. That was not going to happen in AEW. You cannot blame or point the finger of blame at this woman for her wanting to go to WWE, because that's what's most important to her. She's getting paid because she deserved to get paid. She earned the right to be paid. But creativity, I'm sure she'll find it in WWE way more than she would have found it in AEW. That's why Mariah May is leaving, and it should be okay for her to leave. She's not overrated. She's not a turncoat. The Enjoy All Pro Wrestling geeks and nerds, I'm sure they'll have a meltdown. You know what? My empty can of liquid death here is primed and ready for the faucet that will be your tears, man. I like a good, salty beverage. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. I love it if you hit the thumbs up. 1,000 likes is the goal. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And please make sure you guys go check out all of the content on the channel. There is plenty of it and more still to come. Thank you for a great month of May. I will see you guys right back here with more content on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.